click on the subscribe button, and press the bell icon, to never miss any updates.
Welcome back to this episode of Face to Face with TK Nakagaki, myself. So again, as I said, I will always start this show with a short meditation so that you can calm down your mind, you can create a peace within yourself. And I have this kind of mindful bell, so you can join me. Relaxing your body first, and try to use your lower stomach to breathe in and breathe out instead of lungs. And I'll do 3 times together with you, and then you can do your own for 3 times. Relax your body, breathe out slowly, and then make your lower stomach empty. Breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. Third set. Breathe out. And breathe in. You can do your own for the next 3 sets of breathing. Okay, once again, welcome to Face to Face, and also means face to face. And so this is the second one. First, I will discuss a little bit about so what is interface, and I include my episode, my experience as well. And this time, actually, I wanted to talk a little bit about more history too, because interface is not just anything new. Probably in a human beings, the realm of when you meet somebody, before it was a very small village we started, we only know the small village, and then now, getting bigger and bigger, and then now you have the world of the people who we meet. So it's a different time. And so as you meet people, then you have all those relationships you create. Therefore, it's a part of our human nature to be connected. This is just a Japanese word, but hito, human being is called as a hito, or Japanese, and then there's a characters which I wanted to show. Maybe under the screen you can see, but then two box lines are together like this, and so one is supporting the others. So the character of the human is supporting each other. So in a way, practicing the interfaith is being a human. We support each other, we learn each other, we live together in a society. But as I said today, those are of course entire human history is creating the relations, and then that's actually one of the wisdom that human being have. So we create those relationship, and the interfaith is really relationship among the faith group or spiritual group, and so. But this particular interfaith in a Western world, we start calling interfaith or multi-faith or different names actually, interreligious dialogue. But one thing there's a big conference in Chicago, 1893, which is long ago, but that's the Parliament of World Religion. Even now, it's going on, but that's the beginning part of it. And at that time, so there's a Parliament of World Religions, and a religious leader gather, from all over the world to Chicago, and then they start having the conversation. And I think that particular Parliament conference became the more developed later on, and it still continues. In fact, there is a Parliament of World Religion conference in November this year. So you can see this is continue, and it's every 4 years they have conference, world conference, and thousands of religious leaders and practitioners gather and learn each other, or present their views and so forth. And then so in a way the interfaith history itself, at least going back to 100 years, over 100 years. And but for me, it's a different, it become a personal too, but at the same time, in New York City, if you experience the 9/11, 2001, that particular incident actually create more of awareness of interfaith in my time, I think. Especially after 9/11 happened, there is the interfaith gathering at stadium. What's the name? Sometimes Yankee Stadium. Sorry. Yeah. So that's all the religious leader come. Washington D.C. There is all the religious prayers and so forth. And then actually in the city itself, we have so many prayers among us. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience on the day of 9/11, because it's connected to the interfaith, the importance of the interfaith, actually. So on the morning, of course, I was at the temple still, Buddhist church in 105 on Riverside. And as I mentioned, that temple itself is close to Columbia University. And when those incidents happen, there's no phone can be working, and so what we're gonna do? We just heard, and somehow we have some problem. We don't know what's gonna happen after this too, and so in the morning, maybe after a couple hours later, the students from the Columbia University came to my temple, knocked the door underneath, because they just, you can walk. And then they came and then knocked the door. And so I wonder who's coming here, And so that was a student. And so these Columbia students wanted to have interfaith gathering at the Columbia University on the same day in the like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And so, those students try to get the ministers, clergy group together. So that was the incident happens, and so of course I decide to go, and then there's a chapel in Colombia, So when we have Columbia University gathering at the St. Paul Chapel, they have different ceremony there too. Maybe I don't know, maybe 500 people or something can be fit in, or maybe less, that's 300 maybe. But so when we went there, actually, it's a very different feeling, because all the seats are all full. It's just so many people. You can feel those what do you call it? Tensity. Very tense, and also fear. What's going to happen? Is this continue, or is this the end? How can we live with this difficult time? So you just, even though you're not speaking, you can just feel the fears and all those feeling of anxieties. And at the same time, people's eyes are very, very different. It's really the tense to listen to the religious leaders, so-called. And so each of us give some short prayers and say a few words and try to encourage, students to be calm and also be, what do you call it, not too excited, but just try to breathe in and create the kind of comfort at that point. Because everybody's gathered, that itself was very comforting too. But then after this particular ceremony is over, I was really shocked to see, open the door for the chapel. Then what happens, all the campus, really, like Columbia University campus itself is filled of the people. That this particular prayer was even outside. And then the people are all around. And so that's one of the moments that I feel like this particular interfaith can bring so many, the spiritually uplifting or also comforting. And so that's one of the very, very important part of the interfaith service or ceremony or gathering that I believe. And so, it could be one person can do something, but one religion can do something. But if all the different religion get together, we can do something more. Since this is New York, you have a lot of music. I feel like interfaith is something like orchestra. They have, of course, orchestra means you have like violin, cellos, and trumpet, and all different kind of instruments. And in a way, each tradition of the religion could be different instrument. One could be piano, one could be violin, or one could be, cello, trumpet, and so forth. Of course, each one can create a good sound, great sound, of course, by themselves too. But when it comes to together, then listen to each other and then, understanding each other, and then you can create the very different, total different kind of music together with a harmony. And so it's like when I was at the Columbia University, what I felt was really each tradition, each religious leaders coming together and respect each other and then bring the message that really gives the kind of relief. And as I said, first we felt the tension and everything, but after the service is over, they feel like, there's a feeling of warmth, compassionate, and even we feel I'm very grateful that I was able to come and join here to do the prayer. So people get great benefit out of it. And so this was, for me, a personal experience of after 9/11. And in fact, after 9/11 happens, many places in the churches and so forth, there are service, but then many of them has interfaith service too. So it's a very chaotic time, but at the same time, we did have at the UN Assembly Day. They don't have they canceled all the UN meeting, but there's always have a prayer right before the UN meeting starts. That particular prayer itself, we did. Everybody came. But actually, the city itself was dead quiet. I mean, it's like a big storm comes or something, nobody outside. But then just 2 days after, I believe, and then we went to the St. Bartholomew Church, and then we had interfaith service. And that itself is also, for me, is a what do you call it, very strength of the all different religions together. We can do something more, and so that was my important aspects of the interfaith. Of course, it can't last the same energy forever, but yet after 9/11, definitely we have more interfaith activities in New York City. And we do still have a lot of different occasions we interfaith people gather and give comforts to the people. And I believe that is one part I want you to really realize the strength of interface or strength of group. Not just individual is fine, of course, but yet also you can consider as this is an interface is a group efforts to bring the peace. For me, anyway, at least. So I felt really comfortable of being able to do the interfaith, and then in order to do that, I just mentioned a little bit of that's an orchestra. You cannot just do your own sound only. You have to listen to the other too, right? Because if you make you just everybody do their own sound, all of a sudden, what happens is all the noise. Maybe each one is wonderful, but when you're getting together, it becomes a noise. So that's annoying. But yet, if you listen to the other people, and then if you understand others, then you can show your strengths there, other can show the other strengths there, and then still you can create a great harmony together. And in that particular image, I believe, is a very important one for me. And I believe it is kind of easy to imagine that particular pictures, orchestra or the great sound coming to you. And now you can listen to and you can respect. So that's the kind of, for me, ideal of the interface figures. Some of the interface, of course, some people wanted to take all the, stage and then not to respect other religions, but that's not really interface. People gather, different religions gather, but they don't respect each other, then that's not really the interface figure. The real interface should be, of course, you do your own things, and they're uniquely your own, which is very important. But at the same time, you can also respect even like at their time. If you have 5 minutes, of course, each one can get the 5 minutes. I mean, that's a simple, but yet it's a respect to the others. So anyway, so I hope you can imagine that image as an interfaith. Since this one I always wanted to make sure, even this I mentioned about interfaith orchestra. Maybe if you have more better, example, I wanted to know too. So this is again not one-way conversation, but 2 ways or 3 ways, 4 ways. So I hope you can send me, email me your comments. And if you have questions, sometimes in the future, I wanted to pick up some questions and maybe answer some of the questions or concern you may have. And so please do so. And also, I just wanted to mention one thing for the tea. Well, this is actually one of the wisdom, I think, human beings. Sometimes we have a refreshment together, drink the tea together. This is actually a very, very interesting, important part. Last time I mentioned about the greeting is very important, maybe with a smile, that's important. But next things maybe you can spend is just simply having tea together. And in Japanese tradition, there's a tea ceremony developed, you may know. But this particular tea ceremony is a very interesting. First of all, you cannot bring any weapons go into the inside of the tea, and you wash your hands and purify your body, and then also mouth and so forth. So purify the entire body. So which means you bring your pure body and mind to the tea house, and it could be any people who you don't like might be there together, but there's no at the tea ceremony you have respect for each other, keep pure mind, and also calmness in there. So that creates the harmony in a tea garden or tea house. So so in a way, having the tea here during the time of this gathering is a very important one. So you can bring the tea, but you can bring your own pure mind of peace, and also respecting your own tradition, but other tradition, and so all those things so come with the tea, but come with all those pure mind and body, and so finish. So this time I would like to welcome you a little bit different, meaning we just ring the bell last time, but this time we ring the bell, and when you breathe in, you can think of happiness to yourself or peace to yourself, and then when you breathe out, you can think of somebody in particular, anybody, thinking of his or her happiness and peace. It could be your parents, it could be your friends or brothers and sisters or anybody, or it could be your pets, or so that's the second bell that you want to think. And then third bell, I want you to think of this one extended the peace and happiness to this world that we are living. So peaceful society and world which bring more happiness to all of us. So I'll ring the bell 3 times and think of your happiness, others, and all the society that we live. Peace to you all. Thank you.
ITV, Call of Peace, Save Humanity.